Hey guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am very excited because tomorrow is June 1st, which means that by the time that you're watching this, it's Pride Month, which that is just so cute. I also had an epiphany this morning that this is going to be my 5th Pride Month out of the closet, which is just... So as your gay bestie, I am going to be answering questions that I think people are too afraid to ask. Basically, we're just gonna be getting down into the nitty-gritty of same-sex relationships, dating, confidence, jealousy, all the things. I'm very excited to just have a nice little chat with you all to kick off Pride Month. I really just want this channel to be a safe and warm place for everyone. Everyone is welcome here. I'm very excited to just be like your gay big sis, your bestie girl, and we're just going to get into the advice. Also, before I get into it, I'm almost at 4,000 subscribers, which is just really, really cool, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe if you're not already, because it really does help me out. We're gonna get into the first question. What has your experience been like telling people you're gay? Are there double standards? And what are straight girls' reactions? To answer the first question, and then I'll kind of dive into the other stuff, I have made videos like this one in the past. So I've kind of already touched on the topic of what my coming out experience was like. So make sure you check out those videos after this one because I kind of go into detail about what it was like. I think my experience telling people I'm gay, because that's different than coming out. When I initially told people, the close people in my life, that I'm gay, like I was met with nothing but support. When it comes to people just like strangers or maybe just people that I'm not as close with, I get like mixed signals. It is a little bit interesting. So obviously you have the people who just don't care, and I mean, that's how it should be, right? But then of course we have people who are, I don't know, you could just tell that it's a little bit shocking to them. I'm met with a lot of like, oh, that's very cool, you know? And I think that's because I don't appear like your stereotypical gay girl. Like I am very femme, and I understand that, but at the same time, what does that really even mean? Because anyone, it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be gay and look like however, but I am definitely met with like kind of shock at first. So it really just depends. As far as double standards, I've talked about this in videos before. There is immense double standards with same sex relationships with girls compared to men. Men, gay men, are treated, I think, so poorly in this society, and that just really needs to change. My girlfriend and I have gotten some pretty crazy comments, not by anyone that we're close with, but we definitely get stares. We've gotten comments from men on the internet. People can be really gross. I have noticed though that people are just a lot more supportive with my relationship. I just have noticed a double standard for sure when it comes to that. And then as far as what are straight girls' reactions, I actually used to worry about this so much. I remember when I first came out, I felt like I had to explain myself so much. Like, yes, I like girls, but don't worry, like you're not my type, which is just so crazy because a heterosexual person isn't saying that. Why do I feel the need to explain myself? Like just because I like girls does not mean I like all girls. It's as simple as that. And how girls would react, I mean, the people that I surround myself with are nothing but supportive. I don't know. I just don't surround myself with people who aren't going to support me or who I don't think would support me. So everyone's been pretty supportive, but when it comes down to it, don't feel like you need to explain yourself at all. You absolutely don't. Moving on. Advice on dating as a femme and worried about not looking gay enough. Okay, so if you don't know by now, I've been in a relationship for almost 5 years now. So as far as dating goes, it's been a little while, but I feel like I do have some advice with this because This really used to be a prevalent issue in my life when I was dating. Because I am so femme, it was a lot harder to get girls to not notice me per se, but like ask me out. I ended up having to be the one to take the initiative there. And I think that's just what you gotta do when you are more on the femme side, because I think a lot of people don't know how to navigate that. You have to build the confidence to take the initiative, and that's ultimately what I had to end up doing. I mean, yes, I dabbled in like experimenting with my clothes and stuff, but when it came down to it, I realized like that was just not for me, and I wanted to stay true to myself. And I love girly things. I love dressing how I dress. I love makeup. So I don't recommend like changing that about yourself just to get a date. I would just simply try to work on your confidence and taking initiative, because it really does make a difference. And with my girlfriend now, I actually was the one that was like, are you gonna ask me on a date or what? And that's how she realized I was gay. So if you're a femme girly, just step into that energy and own it. Okay, the third question is, was being gay and PDA with girls something you immediately embraced after coming out? No. First of all, it took me a really long time to even accept the fact that I was gay. So naturally, when I told people and like finally decided to take that leap and have the courage to come out, it took me a little bit to get comfortable. And yes, I feel like I immediately experimented and like started going on dates and stuff because it was exciting, but I definitely did not feel comfortable all the time. And maybe there were times where I was like, for some reason, this just feels like awkward. And I think that's just so natural though, when you're literally stepping into a new version of yourself. Even though it's something that's like inside of you, it's been inside of you all along, you are finally embracing it. And there's gonna be uncomfortability with any sort of change. So I would just ride that out, because it definitely does get better. You're gonna start to feel more confident as time goes on. And as far as PDA goes, yeah, no. Even with heterosexual couples though, it's just about preference. Grayson and I we were like PDA central when we first started dating, and we dialed it back a lot just because I think when you're with someone for so long, you don't feel the need to be on each other all the time. I love like holding her hand in public though. There was times in the beginning when I was a little bit nervous to hold her hand, because naturally people will stare at you. If you're two girls or two guys, people are gonna stare, because even though it is 2024, society has not fully embraced same-sex couples yet, like fully and truly. It's very prevalent that we still have a long way to go. Just be prepared that people will stare at you. I don't notice it anymore because I could care less. Like I don't really even look at what other people are doing. I can hold Grayson's hand and just go about my day like normal, and I know that people are staring at us. It doesn't affect me, and I think it's just because as time has gone on, I've just become more comfortable. So don't feel any sort of shame if you're not fully comfortable yet, because that is just so normal. The next question is a little bit lighter. So it's, who is my fave lesbian icon? At the moment, obviously there's so many. At the moment, it is Renee Rapp, because she is quite literally mother. Like she is everything and more. She's so talented, and then also on top of it, her personality is just so amazing. Like if you've watched any of her interviews, you can tell that she's just so genuine, and she's just so herself. She's so confident, she's so funny and like quirky. What are the roles within a same-sex relationship? Who asks who out? Who makes the first move? Who pays, etc.? Okay, so as far as roles go, I've gotten asked this before like many times by people that I know, and it's really funny. Oh, and my light just died. That's cool. Okay, we're just ignoring that. So the fun thing about being in a same-sex relationship is there really is no roles. And I think that's what makes it so freeing, honestly, because you truly do have the ability to do whatever you want and you don't have to put yourselves in a box whatsoever. We are so trained by society to have roles, like men hold the door open for women, men pay, men whatever. No, we don't do that here. I will literally open the car door for her. She will open it for me. It just naturally kind of like flows, and there's moments where I'll pay because she paid last time, and it really just depends. At the end of the day, you need to do whatever feels best in your own relationship. Don't feel pressured to put yourself in any sort of box because you do not need to do that. Advantages and disadvantages of being in a same-sex relationship. Like I mentioned, I think no roles, that is definitely an advantage. Another advantage is because you are with another woman, it's easier to communicate your feelings with that person. Whereas when I used to date men, I would have a really hard time like opening up to them because, well, I didn't really like them. No, I just think that men are naturally, we're just very different. That being said, I know that there are very emotionally intelligent men out there, so obviously I'm not discrediting all men. It's just that was my experience. So it's a lot easier to connect with women because they understand, they know what you're going through. Oh, another advantage I will say, you get to share clothes and stuff. Grayson and I have the same size feet, so we get to share shoes. I mean, there's literally so many advantages. There's way more advantages than disadvantages in my eyes, but disadvantages, a lot more hormones because, you know, you're a woman. I don't even have the words to describe, like, sometimes it's just a lot of hormones. It can get very emotional. Okay, I'm insecure because I've never dated anyone before and I'm worried that I never will. Okay, so this one is interesting because I genuinely used to feel this way. Well, first off, I came out when I had just turned 21, so in my eyes that felt late, and I felt like I was behind and I was like worried about other girls like thinking that I wasn't experienced or whatever. Thinking about it now, that is so silly because 21 is not even old, but also like it does not even matter what age. Genuinely, everyone is on their own journey and you can't worry about other people, and the right person will literally not care at all about that. But as far as like not dating or anything or feeling like you are not gonna find anyone ever, even though I dated a lot when I was in high school, like dated guys, I never actually was in a relationship until I had met Grayson. I just remember even throughout dating men just being like, I am never going to find anyone that I connect with. I am extremely weird. I dial it down a lot in videos and social settings. When I'm truly comfortable with a person, I will let my weirdness out, and it's a lot. I'm a crazy girl. And I remember actually, I talked about this with my sister-in-law like a month or two ago about, I was like, do you remember when I told you that I don't think anyone will ever love me because of how weird I am? And she was like, oh my God, I remember that. That was so sad. And I was like, I know. I genuinely thought no one was ever going to love me because of how weird I was. I genuinely felt like I was never going to be able to be my true, authentic self in front of a person because I was worried about being judged. And obviously that just came with low confidence and low self-esteem. I just had things that I had to work on, but honestly, I think that's just so normal when you're young. I promise you though that you will find someone. You're not gonna be alone forever. I think at that time I was subconsciously projecting my feelings of low self-esteem out, and of course I wasn't manifesting anyone because I wasn't loving myself. Literally the minute I decided to step into my like true authenticity and just finally be myself and practice a little bit more self-love, and don't worry, you don't need to have it all figured out, but I think that just feeling like, okay, I am worthy of love, so many good things will come into your life, I promise you. And you just have to remember what you're feeling is so normal. You're not going to be alone forever. And just because you've never dated before, that doesn't mean anything. Like, when you find the right person, they're not going to care about that. I'm wishing anyone who feels like this love, because trust me, I get it. Try your hardest to work on that self-love, because I promise you, things will change after you gain that sense of confidence. How do I become more confident in intimate situations? Okay, so I am actually really excited about this question, because even though it's considered maybe a little bit taboo, I think intimacy is it's just a human experience, right? Like, we all have intimate moments, we all have sexual experiences, and it's just part of being a human being. I think that we need to talk about it a little bit more, and it doesn't mean that it has to be this crazy thing. Like, we can still keep it classy, but I think that this is such an issue, and I have definitely experienced it. I know people personally who have also experienced not feeling so confident in intimate settings. I think, again, it really comes down to yourself. What you feel about yourself will radiate to other people. So if you're not feeling the best about yourself, it's going to be really easy to feel like closed off and, awkward in situations like that. So I really just recommend tapping into whatever energy you want to give out. For me, it's like, I want to embrace my feminine energy. So in order to do that, I will do things like maybe listen to music, or like dance in front of the mirror. I know it's a little cringy, but like, it works. Put on makeup, do my hair, whatever it is that makes me feel beautiful, I will do that, and I will really just tap into that. Obviously, if you're not really trying to embrace the feminine energy, then like, you don't have to do that. Do whatever makes you feel the most you and the most confident. Also, when it comes down to, intimate situations with another person, it also just really comes down to communication, because we're all so different and we all don't want the same things. Like, what you like might not be what the person you're with likes. So it really just comes down to communicating in all situations, but specifically intimate situations. This isn't just for people who are in serious relationships. Even if you're dating around and having fun, like, having conversations about your dislikes and your likes is so important, because it really just comes down to respect. You should be with someone who respects your wants and needs. And I know, like, I don't want to come across as like not cool, but honestly, you doing something that makes you uncomfortable is never cool. So situations like that are so much more pleasurable when you're with someone who understands and like you can communicate with. Intimate situations are meant to be enjoyed, so have fun and explore for sure, but definitely like never do anything you're uncomfortable with. And I think that will also help a lot with confidence, because when you feel comfortable, you're going to feel a lot better about the situation. Really just tapping into the energy of like, okay, you're a bad bitch and you are also worthy of respect. I think that will take you very far. And then the last question is advice on jealousy, which is also, this is another question I'm excited to talk about. Jealousy is also another extremely normal human experience. We all feel jealous from time to time, and if someone tells you that they've never been jealous before, they're quite literally lying to you. Even though jealousy, that feeling is extremely normal, just like all emotions. What's important is navigating those feelings and not letting it consume you, because what we don't want is for you to spiral with that jealousy and become a crazy person. That's not what we want. I have been there before. I'm like not ashamed to admit that. I've talked to many people about this who have who feel the same way or who have felt similar feelings, but people just don't want to talk about it. This isn't just within relationships. You could just be scrolling on social media and you could see someone who appears to have it more together than you, or who appears to be more successful, and then what do you know? Oh, I'm feeling something that I don't like. I'm feeling a little bit jealous. When it comes to relationships, you need to really stop and think like, okay, why am I feeling jealous? Is it my partner? Do I feel like I can't trust them? Or is it me, and am I projecting my own insecurities onto a situation? We have to really get real with ourselves at times, and I know that it can be uncomfortable and it's not fun for the ego, but in order to grow, this is what literally has to happen. We have to get real with ourselves. Once you kind of pinpoint it, you're able to work with it. Of course, jealousy will rise from time to time, but I'm really good at navigating the situation now. I think time also helps a lot. The older I've gotten, the easier it is, but I think also I have done a lot of self-healing and work on myself to where if I'm feeling for a second like someone has more than me and I want what they have, I think, okay, no, we're not gonna do that, because at the end of the day, there's enough love and success for everyone. When it comes to jealousy within relationships, I go, no, we're not gonna do that, because I trust that person. Practicing compassion for yourself and just understanding your worth is a common theme. It will help you so much if you can find grace and compassion for yourself and understanding like these are all human experiences, and you don't have to feel any sort of shame for feeling how you're feeling. But what we need to work on is navigating through these feelings. So those are all the questions that we're going to touch on today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm sending you all the love and light, and happy Pride Month. This is such an exciting month, such a fun month full of celebration and just celebrating like who you are and the uniqueness that you are. I'm very grateful to be a part of this community. Again, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.